I repent of my sins, I said, God, help me please. I ask him to take control of my life. Oh yeah, he gave me peace within. All my guilt I laid on him, and now I am saved by his word. For God, he so loved a world full of sin that he gave his only begotten Son. Yes, the Son gave his life for all men, was crucified to redeem us unto God for his own. So I cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophies at last I lay down at his feet and rest. I will cling to the old rugged cross for my life, and exchange it someday for a starry crown. Bless God.
You're the last and alive.
For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn, but that the world through him might be saved. Oh yes, he say, whosoever will may come boldly and receive of his glory, his power, and his love. So I cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophies at last I lay down at his feet and rest. I would cling to the old rugged cross for my life, and exchange it someday for a starry crown. Bless God.
You're the last and alive.
John said, if I would confess with my mouth, I'll be blessed, for he's faithful and just to forgive. Oh yes, now I know I'm justified by his blood that was shed, and now I am safe in his arms. So I cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophies at last I lay down at his feet and rest. I will cling to the old rugged cross. I would cling to the old rugged cross for my life and exchange it someday for a starry crown. So I cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophies at last I lay down at his feet and rest. I will cling to the old rugged cross for my life and exchange it someday for us.
Yes, that's the song of the man, Brother Clive Williams, over there in the Senko area by way of Sandy Point, St. Kitts, the Old Rugged Cross, one of my favorite tracks. DJ Morrishaw coming to you live and direct from the Gaza here in the Boogie Down Bronx. Yes, I'm back on base here in the Boogie Down Bronx. Today is Wednesday, July 12th already. We're way past the half of the year. Looking forward to Sugar Mass in St. Kitts, Nevis. Well, I'm back from the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, and it was mass. It was mass down there. DJ Morrishaw Sports Club had a ball. And the track there, I had to play the track because during the last week of my time there in the Federation, there was a lot of deaths, a lot of deaths. As a matter of fact, in my little community there of Capistia, number 6 to be exact, there was some 4 deaths in one day. One day, 4 people died, natural causes. No COVID pandemic, was just the time. And overall, maybe some 10 within the month, all natural causes. So we got a few icons that have take flight as well. Good friend of mine, I understand the man, the Ali, out of Sandy Point, who reside there in the St. Thomas Virgin Island area. Condolences to the man Brown and the rest of the family and the passing of the mighty Ali. I got a couple songs there for Ali I might try drop this evening. The recording is not the best because back in the days, back in the 70s and 80s, the recording standard, the quality and cassette really was not up to par. But I will try drop a few tracks of the mighty Ali this evening. We also have our icon there, former drummer of Elimat and the Jazz Brass, former drummer of the Jazz Brass International. The man talk about all kind of things and them kind of stuff that is happening. And the funny thing about it is, Mixtoke took flight, I think it was on the 4th of July. And it really caught me off. It didn't really caught me off guard, but it caught me off guard that I didn't get a chance to really see him. I was trying to seek permission while I was in the Federation from his family to pay a visit. That did not work out. And I figure, well, once the rest of the team depart the Federation, I would have had the opportunity to go and pay my visit to the icon. And that did not happen. But it's no love lost because every time I visit the Federation, I get the opportunity to rap with Mick once I go in up 4th Street. Even if I don't plan to stop in his jewelry shop there, he will shout me up and I had to go in and had a rap with him. So we had that ongoing conversation. So I miss the brother. I'm sorry that he's no longer, because believe me, that kind of voice that that brother had is one of a kind, And he dropped a track there some time back, all kind of things. And I'm gonna drop that track right now, because but since I've been back here to New York, I'm getting all kind of phone call, I'm hearing all kind of things, all kind of melody they're giving me about the brother. And the thing about it is, when you're alive, nobody wants to know how you survive, how you eat, whether you can pay your bills or nothing like that. But when you're dead, there's all this investigation, and there should be no investigation. The gentlemen have gone home to rest, and I want to give my condolences to the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Joe, Sister Cynthia Michelle, and the rest of the family, and the passing of Brother Mickey Stokes. And as I said in my previous broadcast last week, let's just give support. If nothing we can do, we cannot bring back the great Mickey. He's gone to rest, and we had all kind of opportunity to say hello and what we can do. We cannot do it anymore. So I'm reaching out to you folks out there who've been an ass and have all kind of negative stuff to say about people while they're alive. Try your best to go out and mingle and say hi. I look forward to doing that. I love hanging out with the folks. You know, like I said, just back from the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. Had a great time there at Carbo's. Enough entertainment coming from the NRP team and Nevisions. I never know that really listen to my program. Many folks come across, so they just have to see DJ Morrishaw in person. So I want to big up Carbo. Carbo, I hope if you're listening, you drop your information in the chat. That goat water man was on the money. As a matter of fact, there's a gentleman that was there on the trip with me who was challenging Carbo about his mother cook a better goat water, but he was just teasing Carbo because it's just Monday gone there. He called me and was thanking me for giving him the experience and say any place DJ Morrishaw Sports Club tour, he's on that trip because he had so much fun. And he confirmed that the best goat water he ever had was at Carbo's. You know, Carbo is in a class by himself, you know. So Carbo, thanks again for taking care of the guys. Also want to big up Sister Loretta over there at the Culturama Bar again for taking care of I and my family. My family and I, we went there to give her a little support. Loretta said, boy, Morrishaw, can't take your money, you know. Have a good day, enjoy the drinks, enjoy Nevis and stuff like that. But people have all kind of things to say, especially the markup fella there, Baby Brantley. I heard they changed his name to Boy Blue. I got to big up my boy there for giving me that name. I'm going to have to drop that track eventually as well. Lovely track, you know. So Boy Blue is performing his thing. But this evening, we're going to get into some conversation. Someone should be joining me later. He said he wanted to discuss the issues. And that is what we are about here in this program. We're here to discuss issues and try to bring betterment to the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. We don't pull punches. We don't do things for like and love. We just bring the facts and hope that the education can improve our status quo in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. When the politicians, them are doing a good job, we big them up for what they're doing. And when they drop short, we got to pull them up and make sure that they step it up, because we don't want our governments to fail. But if some of them head is so hard, like Contender said, hard head Harry, then we got to tell them time to exit, because we're not going to settle for no PR business. We're settling for the best. That is what we are in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. So let me drop this track here by the man, Brother Mickey Stoke. 6:01, we're right on time this evening. Thanks to my engineer there, Brother Ike. As usual, brother, I want to always lift you up, because without you, this program will not be alive and lively the way that it is. This is the #1 around the region, and I want to keep it that way, and I know with you. And my brother there, Elvan Ellie, the man Alvan Brown. Just want to thank you guys for your continued contribution. The man Lincoln Hobson, aka DJ Rabuka. Thank you as well, my brother, for all of your support. The man, brother Kenrick Williams, we're going to talk about them in a bit. I understand their mother passed away. So we're going to be doing a lot of chit-chatting this evening. But I'm back in the Boogie Down Bronx, back on base, back here at the Gaza. We're going to drop this track. This one is called All Kind of Things. And you guys know we're going to start off with the songs and where we're going with the conversation. So all kind of things we're going to talk about this evening. Stand by for the Mickey Stokes. Oh, yeah.
Things I had. He said this, she said that.
Rest in peace, my brother.
Saying all kind of things about my girl now.
Oh yeah. All kind of things.
On the telephone, they won't leave me alone. Late at night, just for spite, they call it my home. And all they're talking about is the woman show them out. They're gonna say all they want, no doubt. I mind my business, but I wanna be a witness to who leave the M16 and who don't keep their house clean. This fella from the Express, woman beat him senseless. Woman's got this blood in a mess. What they say you say? What happened to them?
All kind of things. All kind of things.
Tell me if it's true. What they say about you?
All kind of things. All kind of things.
No, I hope you understand that folk can help you found. I'm boy can help you found. I'm boy. If you like confusion, then come and show your emotion. Come and rock your body. Go on like handsome pussy. Come let me and you show them how to do.
All kind of things. All kind of things.
But when you come to pet, be careful, you might get.
All kind of things. All kind of things.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Say go, bossy, go, bossy, go.
Go bossy, go bossy,
Go,
go.
go, bossy, go, bossy, go.
Go bossy, go bossy,
We doing
go.
all kind of things inside here now.
All kind of things.
We doing all kind of things now, make sure.
All kind of things.
Come on and say, bump your fist like this, everybody.
Pump your fist like this.
Gimme, gimme,
Pump
gimme.
your fist like this. Pump your fist like this.
Say yo,
Say yo, say yo,
me
yo.
and you. Show them how to do.
All kind of things. All kind of things.
Put your hand on your hip and let your back out it. Uh-huh.
All kind of things. All kind of things.
Some drinking their rum, chasing it with beer.
All kind of things. All kind of things.
Call up the DJ, tell them they must play.
All kind of things. All kind of things.
Long be done. Uh-huh. Gimme.
Yeah, man, all kind of thing, all kind of thing. You know what? Even Facebook got all kind of thing going on. Yesterday, I was busy doing some stuff and I just scrolled through Facebook and I see all kind of sympathy and get well soon, DJ Morrishaw. And I don't understand. I say, who tell them DJ Morrishaw sick? I ignored Facebook, you know. But then this morning I started getting phone calls from all over the place, telling me they called to give me their sympathies and get well soon and whatever. So what are you talking about? So I went back and double checked. Facebook, just like these Kitchen and Division, they cannot let you leave your past behind. An incident that took place in 2018, where Cricket Ball had a conversation with my temple. Facebook, somebody went to Facebook and find that and bring it back to life, you know. And whatever they put there, it went viral. Everybody's wishing DJ Morrishaw. But you know, there was some good in it. I realized that some people, a great deal of people care for and love DJ Morrishaw. So I want to thank all you folks that reach out, the phone calls. And I realize people don't read, you know. People just message, because no matter how much I put in the thread for people to understand that this is an old posting, is nothing new. I just came back from St. Kitts last Thursday. I was in St. Kitts playing cricket over there in Canary, over there in Breeze Park in Newton Ground. I bowled well in Canary. As a matter of fact, last week, Thursday, I played against the team put together by the Cricket Association, thanks to the man Dennis and Gary. And that team that was put together, DJ Morrishaw decided to bowl. And my first over, I pick up a wicket for 3 runs. 1 over, 3 runs, 1 wicket. Them guys tell me, boy, Morrishaw, don't bowl again. Don't spoil your average. I said, well, it's the final over to go. And the guy I was going to give the ball to bowl, he's going to open bat. So I didn't want to put him to that stress. So I decided to bowl the final over. And when I bowled the final over, my little boy there, Fanso Daniel, aka the Suzuki, decided he wanted to guide my ball through to square. But instead of him getting going to square, he went into slips. And he tried to run the ball into slips, and he decided he faster than the ball. He take off, and got run out. So in my second over, it was another 3 runs and 1 wicket. So you could say in the cricket format, the run out does not credit the bowler. But the bottom line is I got two wickets out in my 2 over spell for 6 runs. So that is some good bowling. West Indies can use me, So nothing wrong with DJ Morrishaw. DJ Morrishaw is in tip-top shape. DJ Morrishaw is doing well. And some of you telling me now that I should go and play softball cricket. No, I'm still a hardball kind of guy. I'm still very hard. Ain't nothing soft about the DJ. The DJ is still very hard. So before we get into the chit-chat, I want to get straight into business because my boy G.A. Dwyer Astafan dropped a commentary there today. And I just love that commentary. It's a carryover from last week, very informative and to the point, speaking about the things that need to happen. And these are the kind of things I want to see coming from our citizens in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I want to see positive contribution coming from you guys. And I had a conversation with Dwyer while I was in St. Kitts, about his commentaries and why he's not including Nevis. And Dwyer tell me, boy, Morrishaw, my commentaries, including the whole of the Federation, all of the ministers, I don't have to call name for people to know who is who. Everybody know the deal. Everybody know which parties was a part of the farmer administration. Everybody know that the PLP was led by the farmer hog, Timothy Harris. He was part of the coalition. Everybody know that the PAM was part of the farmer coalition led by Sean Richards. And everybody know that CCM, who is the leftovers in the federal and still in the NIA, was part of that coalition. So do I say, Morrishaw, when I talk, people just have to understand that I am putting the thing out there and they got to do their part. I can't go out there go fight for them. I'm fighting with them. So take a listen to Dwyer commentary for today and you use your own common sense. If you listen to Dwyer commentary for today, Dwyer is telling you all of them bad boys, they need to be dealt with. Some of them need to go to jail.
Greetings. I want to thank the many of you who provided so much feedback on last week's commentary, in which we discussed Kitishan Hill and Christoph Harbour, 2 very important centres for potential economic development of the country, one at the northwestern end of the island, the other at the southeastern end, and in which we called for governmental and general action for these projects to be revived and brought on stream so that the people of the country can benefit from them. Now, let's move on. I am happy to see that the guidelines for filing official declarations by designated public officials under the Integrity in Public Life Act are now ready. The list of officials is extensive, but I'm wondering if the following ought not to be included. 1, the Commissioner of Prisons. 2, the Commander of the Defense Force. 3, the Head of the Planning Board. 4, members of the Board of Governors of the Citizenship by Investment Unit. 5, members of the government entity that handles procurements. 6, the Director of the Financial Services Regulatory Commission. And 7, last but not least, members of the Integrity Commission itself. Now, I know that the Parliament has passed anti-corruption legislation to cover public servants who are not covered by the Integrity in Public Life Act. And I think that is a wise move. But I believe that the positions that I just listed ought to be considered for inclusion in the Integrity in Public Life Act. And I hope that this suggestion will be given some attention and consideration by the decision makers. I'm further heartened to learn that persons who were appointed public officials prior to April 22nd, 2023 must file an initial declaration of personal worth by Monday, July 31st, 2023. That deadline is 19 days away from today. That is a sign that the government means business. And anyone who was appointed as a public official in one of those positions designated under the Act after April 22nd, 2023 will have 100 days from the appointment to file his or her declaration. In addition, these declarations will have to be filed once per year by these public officials during the period of their service and for 2 years after they have discontinued as public officials in those specific positions or in any other position that is covered by the Integrity in Public Life Act. Among the documents that they have to file are land title documents, vehicle ownership documents, copies of insurance policies or certificates, bank statements containing the account holders' names, and at least 2 government identification documents. Now, the information to be filed is not restricted to the public officials. It also includes relevant information on spouses and children. Spouses include not only people who are lawfully married to each other, but common law, other halves, or significant others, as you may wish to refer to them, who have been cohabiting with the specific official for at least 5 years preceding the period that the declaration is required to be filed. And children include stepchildren and adopted children who are under the age of 18 or between 18 and 25 and attending school or other institutions of learning and who are not married. I'm not sure that I fully understand the part with these children. Maybe an explanation from the Attorney General with regard to this would help. But this is an important move forward, a step in the right direction. Our country, our economy, our society cannot thrive and achieve sustainable economic and social prosperity, and our people cannot achieve and sustain a high level of cultural and political dignity unless corruption and bad governance are stamped out. This country has suffered greatly, and our people have been robbed callously and cold-bloodedly at the hands of corrupt, incompetent, and self-serving public officials in the past. Bad, overpriced infrastructure, sweetheart contract, and other nefarious deals and kickbacks. And all of these things have happened. Hundreds of millions of dollars of your money misspent. Hundreds of millions of dollars of your money used to satisfy private greed, pocketed and deposited in banks all over the world by the robbers. Hundreds of millions of dollars that could have been used to make our country safer, to fix social problems, to build a platform for a solid and resilient economy, to provide better health care, education, energy and water and food safety, better conditions, and a better quality of life for our people. I'm not being personal or prosecutory, but it bothers me deeply when I hear about someone going to jail for 6 months for stealing from a store in town, while individuals who rob the people of this land to the tune of millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars continue to walk free and still to this day wield influence in this land. Look at them, you know who they are. Why is it that none of them, including some faces who we still see, why is it that none of them have gone to jail yet and made to pay back to the people of this country for the robberies and other crimes and acts of treachery against you, the people of this country? Some of you supported and continue to support the very same persons who robbed and deprived you and the rest of us. It never ceases to amaze me how some of us stay loyal to individuals who have done so much damage to us. Many of you will no doubt remember and reflect on the fact that this integrity in public life legislation and the filing of declarations by high-level public officials is something which former administrations deliberately dragged their feet on. They had really no appetite for it, otherwise it would have been in operation long ago. I am hoping that the Integrity Commission will be proactive and, like Lady Justice, be blind, and wherever the consequences flow, let them flow, regardless of the identity of the person or persons involved. And I want to encourage them not to wait for members of the public to feed information and evidence into their hands. Proactive, objective, clinical, fair, and always mindful of their primary and sole obligation, which is to safeguard the integrity of the country. I'm expecting that no dust will be swept under the rug, and that at the end of the day, I'm hoping that this all would not have been just for show. Because if any of that happens, the present decision makers will be judged very harshly. People's respect and expectations of elected officials and politics generally will diminish, and things will only get worse, because when people unplug themselves from the politics, cynicism reigns and corruption and bad governance increase. Now, the office of the Integrity Commission is located in the DeLille Walwyn building at Liverpool Row. Its phone number is 466-6436 or 466-6915 extension 303. Let me repeat those numbers: 466-6436 or 466-6915 extension 303. Next, and very soon, I hope also that the address of that office will be relocated to a government building, as is my hope for all of those offices all over town that are rented in private sector properties, when government should make arrangements for these offices to be located in government buildings and save the taxpayers millions upon millions of dollars per year. Again, I commend the administration for taking these steps with regard to the integrity in public life arrangements, and I encourage them, and I encourage you, the people, to keep pressing for this to become quickly operationalized and effective and efficient. And I await with bated breath the same developments with regard to the freedom of information infrastructure. Thank you and goodbye.
Yes, that's the sound.
Happy anniversary, Shaq.
That's the sound of the boy there. Brother J. Dwyer Astafan, I enjoy our conversation very much over the past 2-3 weeks. We met on several occasions discussing the happenings in the Federation, past and present. And I endorse this commentary. And as Dwyer says, you cannot just wait for his commentary or the Morrishaw weekly broadcast to pressure them to do the right thing. We know who the culprits are. We know who was in the farmer administration for the last 7 years. We know who the team unity administration was. Dwyer just gave you basically a blueprint of what transpired in a very short synopsis. And you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, you guys have the phone numbers. You got the address of the Integrity in Public Life Office. Reach out. Everyone, they cannot ignore everybody. Everyone should have the will to go to find out what happened in the last 7 years, where these millions of dollars went. It was not just the farmer hog. Every last one of them is responsible for those millions of dollars that can't be accounted for and wasted. You all don't forget during the pandemic. Remember those folks said that it was volunteering, nobody getting paid. But some $300,000+ was shared up amongst them. Some get 15,000, some get 27, some get all kind of money, but they were volunteering. So you, the people, you have to demand justification, and let's stay focused and that hospital wing in Nevis. Let's stay focused on baby Brantley. Let's stay focused on his new moniker. They say he's Boy Blue. So let's focus on Boy Blue. Let's demand answers. Let's step it up and the AG, step it up and the ombudsman, step it up on whoever is responsible to start this investigation. We want to see some results, not just talk. We don't want to hear how much millions missing. We want to hear what has been done about the millions that missing. We know about the fake marriages. We know all the monies that gone missing. We hear all the stories. People are crying out. And those people who are out there crying out about the government and doing these things tight, you're all making things tight because you all want to sit down and get money coming to your pocket. Let's go out and demand where those money went. Let it come back to you that you could get something, things tight. Let's do our part. The government is a short 11 months old now. The anniversary is around the corner. Let's see what they have to present to us in that short anniversary. As I said before, a lot has been done. Ain't no question that in a very short time, the Labour administration, the new Labour administration under Dr. Chu has done a lot in the last 11 months. Yes, we would like to see things done a little differently in some areas, but we elect them. So let them do their work. Let them explain to us why they did it this way. If not now, by that anniversary date, we must know what the process was, why they did it this way, and what's next. We must know why up till today, the Prime Minister have not gone across to Nevis and do a town hall meeting. I would like to know. It's not clear to me. What is stopping the Prime Minister from going across to Nevis and having a town hall as the people requested? I know he said he's going, but I'm saying you got to do it before the anniversary date. So far, it does not look good, but there's a chance to correct it. Do not let the anniversary date comes on August 5th or August 6th, and you haven't gone across it, Mr. Prime Minister. It will not look good on your resume. So let's step it up. And again, like I said last week, I know that the Prime Minister have to deal with his father's death, and I do not know when the funeral will be, but I'm giving him the time to mourn and do what he has to do. And we support the family wholeheartedly, and I call in on the nation to show that support to the family. But, you know, we got to talk the things them and the things have to be done. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I also want to thank my brother there, Brother Ira McMahon, for dropping in last Wednesday and have a chit chat with me. Very great job, Brother Ira, and I look forward to continuing our conversation. And before I get too far into the program as well, I have not been able to say hi to some of my online viewership for some time because of my busy schedule in St. Kitts and cutting it short sometime to get out and do what I have to do. So let me say good evening to some folks. Gemini Nisbet, good evening. How are you doing? Hope all is well. Want to pick up Hazel Claxton, one of my stand supporters. Thanks for all your contributions, sister. Brother P. Eustace Hendrickson over there in the Houston area. How are you doing, Clayton Davis? How are you doing? Good evening. How about Boo and Yulin there in St. Thomas? Hilla Brown. How are you doing, my brothers? And Sandra Merritt. Also want to big up Joycelyn Hazel. How are you doing? Esther Markman over there in the UK. In Farrell. How are you doing? Myrna Davis. Loretta Clark Quilly. Angela Weeks, how are you doing? Sister Angela, I realize you got somebody hack your page, sending me all kind of a message there. So check out your Facebook page, somebody pretending to be you. Brother Romello, how are you doing? Yes, brother, I heard you was at Nevis, didn't get a chance to see you. But Carbo told me you was there. I hope you're doing well. How about Brother Thaddeus Deposo, how are you doing? Hope all is well with you. Tamika Salid, Ruby Walters, Delicious Nicholas Brown, how are you doing? Jessica Lewis, Ingrid Daniel Farrell, Gigi Skeet, William Skeet, how are we doing? Sandra Thompson. These numbers climbing too high, I can't call everybody name. Paul Francis, Curtis Cook, good evening, my brother, how are you doing? The man, Monarch, Brother Rascal there, how you doing? The man, DJ Rabuka, the man, the real right, EK, hope all is well with you. Hugh Coleman, David Sr., Janet Grell, how you doing? Hope all is well with you guys. Want to big up the man, Brother Sam Conda there, Brother J. Dwyer Astafan, the man Larry Vaughan, Dr. Martin, Brother Big Lice, Mary Nolan, good evening, how you doing? How is the man Ras? Tell Ras I can't answer my phone, I am live. So I see he was calling me after I've been calling him for 48 hours. Want to big up the man there, Douglas Watley. Brother Cody Thompson, how you doing? Rosita Pontin. Chelsea Watson, how you doing? Good evening. Well, Sister Naomi Bircher, how you doing? Ayoni Mitchum, Sister Ann Farrell Smith, good evening, how you doing? I want to big up Sister Beverly Morrishaw, Gwyneth Morrishaw, my baby girl. I also want to welcome the missionary Deborah Wallace to the New York area. Brother Roger Wallace, Melissa Beard, Daria, my baby girl, was nice hanging with you today. I want to big up Ma over there, Gloria Beard there in the Tobago area. How about my boy there, Victor Beard, Daniel, and Chanel? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm gonna drop a clip here. Some time ago, you guys heard me speaking about the arrest of 3 of our citizens in the Federation during the independence celebration sometime back. And those people was arrested for no reason, for standing up and for their rights, and basically locked away for 3 days. And not only that, the crowds that were standing there were tear gas. As a matter of fact, I saw a clip this week of our now Governor General, Dame Marcella Liebert. She was also carrying a plaque, but they couldn't lock her up, but they could lock up Shaq. But that's all right. That's what they pick on the small boys. But Shaq gave her an anniversary update, a very touching clip. So I'm going to play that clip for you. You know, a lot of these lawyers in St. Kitts Nevis, they're always talking about the fighting for the rights of people. They fight for people in Haiti. They fight for people from Africa. But their own local people there in the Federation get knocked about by the farmer Hag and his regime that comprise of PAM, led by Sean Richards, CCM, led by Baby Brantley, and PLP, led by the farmer Hag. They all had that unit, knocking about our people, doing all kind of manner evil to our people, and them lawyers, they did not see it fit to stand up for our local citizens. But today, they will tell you that they're fighting for human rights. So let me play this clip by Shaq.
Happy anniversary, Shaq. Happy anniversary? Yes, happy anniversary. Today makes 1 year since I was arrested, August 20th, 2021. And you guys know, I was arrested for carrying a live broadcast of a protest that was taking place on Church Street. And when the officer held me, of course, I inquired, why was I being arrested? And the officer just kept calling my name, Shaq, Shaq, Shaq. And I keep asking, am I being arrested? Why am I arrested? And then the lady came up and she said, I was being arrested for incitement, for inciting. And they took me to the Bastia police station, where I spent 3 nights, 3 long, hard nights in a cell at the Bastia police station. Of course, you guys know, my 2 phones were taken away. They were taken away for what? I don't know. So they're looking for evidence of incitement. Well, up to today, no evidence were found of any incitement. So she kept my phones like for months. And the funny thing about it, when she had my phone, she asked me permission to search my phone. And I said no. And she said she was going to apply to the court for a warrant to search my phone. Okay, fine, because if the court gives you permission to search my phone, well then I have no control over that. But before the warrant was issued, my phone was being searched. Because when I got out, persons told me that they saw me online. I'm like, you saw me online? But I was arrested. I was in a cell for 3 nights without a phone. So how could I be online? But they said, yes, Shaq, you were online. You get me? Anyway, that was the 20th. The 20th, I was arrested and I was charged on the 22nd. I received 11 charges. Yes, 11 charges. And those charges are 1. Obstruction. 2. Take part in a public procession without written permission. 3. Take part in a public march without a permit. 4. Take part in a prohibited procession. 5. Behave in a manner with intent to provoke a breach of the peace. 6. Attend a mass gathering to wit a public procession. And those are the 6 charges I received for the 20th of August. When the 11 charges come in, on the 2nd of August, there was also a protest in the square. And to my amaze, when these charges I just read out were given to me, or being read to me, I heard the lady start to read out, for that you, on the 2nd of August, I'm like, what? 2nd of August? And she was like, yes, you were in the square on the 2nd of August too. So she did not inform me that I was going to be reported for any offense in the square. But here is it, on the 22nd, when she's charging me for on Church Street, she's reading out charges from the 2nd of August. And as far as I know, as a police officer, once you're going to charge somebody, you must inform them. Once you're going to report anybody, you will inform them that you are going to report them for the necessary offense or offenses. But none of that was done. Anyhow, on the 23rd now, I went down to the courthouse now for my bail hearing. I was granted bail and was told to come back to court on the 4th of October. So on the 4th of October, went back to court. The officers were not ready with a case file. So there was an adjournment to the 6th of December. In the meantime, my lawyer was seeking disclosure. Any evidence that I have against me, my lawyer was supposed to be given that evidence so he can, properly prepare himself for the case. So when I went to court, the 4th of October, like I said, it was put off until the 6th of December. 6th of December now, gone back to court. Case file still ain't ready. Still ain't got a case file to present to the court. So again, my lawyer inquired about the disclosure. The court now gave an order that disclosure must be given to my lawyer by the 30th of December. That's when we were in court on the 6th. So the magistrate said disclosure must be given on the 30th of December. So court adjourned from the 6th of December to 25th of January. January came, 25th. We're going back to court. Still no case file. No case file ready so the case could be tried. And by that time, we went over by another magistrate because the other magistrate that was trying the case, he was on vacation. So that magistrate put off the case. He didn't want to touch it, so he put off the case until the 25th of February. So on the 25th of February now, gone back to court now. By that time, they would have given my lawyer partial disclosure. Some of the evidence that they had against me. And on the 25th, yes, of February, the matter was not tried for whatever reason. So it was adjourned again until the 11th of March. 11th of March, gone to court again, still nothing. So the magistrate asked them, why is this here not ready? Why is the case not ready? They said they're waiting on some information from the phone that they sent overseas. So the magistrate was like, so you charge the gentleman for obstruction. Do you need his phone for that? Prosecution can't answer. He asks, you charge the man for taking part in a public procession without written permission. Do you need his phone for that? Can't answer still. You understand what I'm telling you? So all the charges them that they gave me had absolutely nothing to do with a phone, because of the 11 charges they gave me, none of the charges was for incitement, what they set up me up for, because I incite people to come to the march. None of the charges for incitement. So those matters could have been tried a long time ago. And if they said they're waiting on evidence from the phone for incitement, then that's another story. But anyway, the 11th of March, that case ain't tried, adjourned again till the 13th of March. Well, on the 13th of March now, 13th of March, when the case ready to be tried now, they had got additional evidence against me. And they presented that evidence on the eve of the trial. So the case was to be tried on the 13th of March. On the 12th of March, after working hours, they gave my lawyer some additional evidence they said they have. You understand? So my lawyer correctly asked for an adjournment to properly prepare, and he explained to the court that this disclosure was given just yesterday, and today is the trial. Well, the magistrate was not having that. After all this long time, from since August right down to May, the magistrate was not having that, and so the magistrate dismissed those charges for the 20th and told them that disclosure must be given in a reasonable time. You can't give a man disclosure today for tomorrow's trial. So those matters were dismissed. All the charges for the 20th on Church Street were dismissed. And those charges from the 2nd, the DPP had already said to the court that he's not going to pursue those matters. So they should be thrown out. They should have been thrown out. But apparently the DPP didn't inform his juniors. So they were not aware of it, and the court, this was a new magistrate, so he was not aware of it. So they seek an adjournment, the prosecution seek an adjournment to clarify with the DPP as to whether or not he's going to continue with those charges from indiscreet, which is the 2nd of August. So court was adjourned until the 15th of August. Well, I went to court the 15th of August, and I got to court, stepped into the box, and the prosecutor got up and said that they are withdrawing the charges from the 2nd. So all 11 charges against me were dismissed. All charges were dismissed. So I'm now a free man. I no longer had to go to the station on Mondays to sign a bail book. I no longer have to go there to sign. So, like I said, I'm free. I'm free. So, I want to say thanks to everybody who would have supported me, who prayed for me, who called me, who messaged me, who came to the station to visit me. Even persons in New York protested. DJ Morrishaw, Jozo. I want to say a special thanks to those persons. Yeah, and just generally thanks to everyone who supported from day one to now. I am now free to go and continue my work as a reporter. So thank you very much. Much appreciated.
So for those of you on social media around the globe who had you said to say about why DJ Morrishaw down in Manhattan dirtying the country and trying to mash up the country and mashing up the government, you hear for yourself. This is the gentleman who was carrying the live stream and the Independence Eve there in St. Kitts. One of the 3 people that was arrested for exercising their civil rights. And because those people, and you know the bad thing about it is, the bad thing about this whole situation is, you know, under the Labour administration, the farmer Hag, I understand he reached as far as St. Vincent, protesting with his placards and paying people in St. Vincent to carry his placards to protest the Labour administration that was led by Dr. Douglas. Right there in St. Kitts, in the same West Independence Square, they walking, Lindsey Grant and all of them, General Powell, name it. They're walking up and down behind the Speaker of the House at the time, demonstrating daily. As a matter of fact, Sam Kanda was in the march too, you know. Remember, there was a part of mashing up the Labour Party. They leave the Labour Party and went and joined with the farmer Hag to form the unity. So all of them had their thing to do, you know. They demonstrate and they do what they had to do. And they were successful in getting into government in 2015. And that government, all they did was disrupt people's life, take advantage of people, corruption after corruption, money disappearing all over the place. They did nothing for the people, just for themselves and their families. As a matter of fact, the conversation I can recall for those years is that one family was responsible for sitting at their breakfast table on a Sunday morning and decide what happened for the entire nation. We had some donkeys in the CCM, some donkeys in the PAM, People's Action Movement, singing Jackie had sing a song and call them donkey. But the word I want to use is ass, jackasses, that had enough seats to form the government on their own. But in their dumbass, they gave the farmer Hag the reins of prime ministership. What some call it? Some kind of call it transactional arrangement, because the only mission was to get rid of Denzel Douglas and mash up the Labour Party. They did not care about country or people. And thanks to God and you, the good people of St. Kitts, you all satellite and you all fight the fight and stay the course and ensure that we got rid of that concussion, that mix-up thing they call team unity. Because there was no team about them. There was no unity about them. It was all about grabbing for themselves and their few friends and to hell with the country. They mash up the country bad, bad, bad. But today, what they destroy, the house they burn down, they want to come back to get the job to rebuild it. And because you, the people, tell them that's not going to happen. They're out there with all kind of propaganda, cussing the prime minister. What you cussing prime minister for? Is you all destroy the house. The man have to stop the bleed. He had to work with his administration to try to stop the bleed while get us back on track. You all complain about traveling out to the US and other parts of the world to try and reinstate, re-engage the people. Where are you mash up all the connection them we had? They had to reestablish as a government. You all mash up the things. And now why you out there acting like you all a saint? You all talk about crime. You all went out there and pay people to keep peace. And the people who you all say you all paying to keep peace, the money ain't get to them. Baby Brantley and the rest of them, like Dwyer said in his commentary today, need to be held accountable. They need to be charged for crime against humanity and crime against the state of St. Kitts Nevis. They need to be charged. This public integrity, whatever they put in place, haven't gone far enough. In any other country, they would have been in prison. And I'm still standing by it. They need to be investigated and charged. None of them should be walking the street of St. Kitts Nevis smiling. None of them should be sitting down having a cappuccino in Nevis, cocking up in their pretty socks. They need to get on some speed right, or some walk a mile or something, and the blue suit, going around putting up chairs and tents when you're having events. Like Dwyer said, the one or two little bad boys that went astray and do a little robbing because things tight with them and their family, they got to feed the kids them. They get 6 months for that. These criminals in government steal millions of dollars, hundreds of millions from our kitty. And they're still out there walking around, say they're honorable. Honorable my ass. What honorable about them? There's nothing honorable about them. Boy Blue need to be held accountable for the damage that was done. The writing is on the wall. You know, next week I'm going to have a guest here. A gentleman by the name of Mr. Cozier. He has a case ongoing right now in Nevis against the baby Brantley over there, Boy Blue. And we're going to break it down. We're going to break it down for you to people because you're the people on the ground in St. Kitts Nevis. You're not paying enough attention to what's taking place. You all did not pay attention to what was taking place under the farm administration, and you're still not paying attention now. You all have to wake up and understand that the damage that was done to the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis was not done by the Labour Party led by Dr. Joe. It was done by the Farmer Hag led by Timothy Harris, Sean Richards, and Mark Brantley, aka Baby Brantley. There was the tree head of the concussion that they had. Let the record show. Let them take me up by the Memorial Mall. Let them take me up there for saying that. All of the mess that the Federation is in right now was done by those three leaders. When our people was arrested for 3 days, an entire weekend for holding up placards, and our people was tear gassed, I reach out to all of them. They always respond to my call, but then they never responded. The only person took my call, God bless his soul, was Van Semwe. And he said to me, DJ, I am against what was done, but I am not a minister of government. I am only an ambassador. So since I could not get in touch with the government ministers in St. Kitts, I thought it's best. We have an ambassador here in New York, in the likes of Ian Patches Libod, the patch-up fella that was down there with Alva. And they too refused to take my call. They too avoided meeting with me. So I had no choice but to go down to the mission and stand on the outside and make a statement. Some of you had me to kill. Oh, it's COVID time. Why are you doing this? You're destroying the country. You're making the country look bad. Make the country look bad, my ass. We got an ambassador down there sitting, so he's the ambassador to the United Nations, which suppose we're talking about civil rights, human rights. And our people right there in the Federation are treated less than animals. They're treated less than animals. And then when I call that one a hag, all you talk about disrespect, he wasn't a hag, he wasn't a sow hag. There wasn't sow hags. And that patch-up fella that stayed down there, as a matter of fact, Mikey Gums tell me, when I'm down there standing outside, him and Ian Patches Libod having breakfast, they wasn't studying me. That's what Mikey Gums tell me. Boy, Morrishaw, when you're down there outside the mission, me and Patches having breakfast. That's my friend. Right? These are the kind of people now that love labor. These are the kind of people now that want to raise their hand. They are the biggest Kittitian and division now. But when there was a need to come and represent the people, they had nothing to say. And this is the problem I have with your Kittitian and division, you know. This is the problem I have with you all. When there's a need for you all to stand up and open your own mouth and speak about the wrong, you're all as quiet as a trout mouse. You are going to come between me and you. Between me and you, my ass. It's not between me and you. It's about the 50,000+ people that belongs to St. Kitts Nevis. And I'm pretty sure it's more than 50+. because with the amount of CBI passport that is out there, the population of St. Kitts Nevis might be over 100,000 now. You know, we have to be serious about the situation, because guess what? If we don't get serious about what is taking place in our beloved federation, we're going to wake up one day and realize we have to seek permission to go home, you know. Remember, not too long ago, we had to seek permission to enter the federation, you know. The farmer had decided he don't want you down there, he not approving the letter for you to come in, you know. Morrishaw went through that, you know. Morrishaw had to wait in the Bronx, sit down at the airport at JFK in Miami to wait for permission to enter the federation of St. Kitts Nevis. Yeah? You all realize that? Do you all realize how many nationals ended up in debt, have to stay in hotel, have to go take COVID tests over and over again because the farmer had decided you're not approving a letter to them? I had a conversation with the farmer about staying in my place, quarantine in my place in St. Paul's. He said, no problem, I'm going to give you Abdiel Samuel's number. He gave me Abdiel Samuel's number. When I called Abdiel Samuel told me some shit about cabinet. But at the time, the cabinet was full of cobweb. It was full of termites. All of them, there was termites. And the end result, 2 weeks later, the farmer had went on national radio and television telling me, you want to come St. Kitts? You're going to go 14 days in quarantine, 14 days in your ass. And when you go in there and you take a test, and your test not come back good, you're going to get 14 more days in your ass. That's what they have tell me. But in the meantime, they got their friends coming in from neighboring islands to do the stupidness that stay in a hotel and get out of quarantine without going through the process. And that is how they ended up with the community spread, you know. I got into Nevis on the Saturday. I had to be locked down in Nevis. They told me 9 days because I was talking meetings them. They tell me they're going to make it 14 days. But on the 8th day, one day after I got in, somebody came in with the virus and was able to mingle with a national, and before you know it, community spread. And I, who came in there with a negative test, have to be locked down in quarantine. But people who was positive as hell running around town, positive, up and down. And if I didn't put pressure on their ass to cut out the bullshit, they would have never lifted. Eventually, they had to open it up and the people go home. This little black boy from St. Paul's, if I didn't talk the things them, nothing would have changed. Don't forget the big tent they put down on the airport, spend how much $1 million talking about Welcome Center. They say it was used perfectly. That stuff never worked properly, it never been used. It was just a ramp that you walk through. Waste of people money, waste of the country money, waste of taxpayers' money. They need to be held accountable. Somebody need to be charged for the money that they waste. Somebody need to be charged. And I'm not going to stop until something is done about it. We need an inquiry about those hundreds of millions of dollars that gone in some people's bank account. Just like what's going on at the hospital wing in Nevis. We need to know where the money gone. I'm not going to stop until I get answers. You understand? I am not going to stop until I get answers about it. We have to hold them accountable. And you know, let me jump into another matter, you know, because somebody sent me a clip. Tell me that baby Brantley is talking about 6 months since the Honorable Janice Daniel Hodge is in the NIA and she ain't bring nothing to the NIA. What can Janice bring to the NIA, baby Brantley, if since you went in and opened the assembly, you might have had 2 meeting tops. You might have had two meeting tops, the opening and whatever else you were doing. other than taking the opposition office finances away from the opposition, what have you done in Nevis? You farmer boss, the farmer had said you was in there for 7 years with them. You was a part of the federal government for 7 years, and the only thing you brought to the attention was something about Brantley and Associate and something about your partner there for the hotel. You didn't bring nothing for the people of Nevis, and you were there for 7 years. But now, to get distraction, you're talking about Johnny saying this, Johnny saying that. Well, partner, I'm going to play a clip here and I'm going to break it down for you. Because you're not going to get away with them conversation there. Maybe the people in Nevis is so tired of you that they don't even respond. But like I always say, anytime you come with all your bullshit, you're going to get a response from me. Because if you all don't get a response, people are going to think, oh, you're telling the truth. You're too damn dirty and wicked and bad. Baby Brantley, you need to be held accountable. You need to be charged with a crime against humanity of the people of Nevis. You must be charged. The ombudsman, the public integrity life, whatever they want to do, you must be charged for crime against humanity for the people of Nevis. You have done too much damage to the people of Nevis to get away with it. And I am here to let you know that I am not moving. I'm jamming one spot until you come clean. The hospital ring you say is on pause. I need to know, pause till when? Is it on menopause? I need to know. You have to be held accountable.
Honorable Alexis Jeffers. I keep talking about the Honorable Alexis Jeffers because, you know, sometimes we say that we want politicians, we want persons who perform. In fact, the NRP had something that said performance matters. And I sometimes have to ask myself, does it really matter? And I'm not trying to be controversial.
You hear what he said? Does it really matter? Performance don't matter in his mind because he get away with it. You, the people of Nevis, allow him to get away with it. Like I said before, enough for you to live on the island to march down to that office daily and demand that he come out of office. But where he's concerned, performance don't really matter because you all don't care. I am saying to you, the people of Nevis, you all don't care because this man should not be walking around Nevis smiling. Not after all the damage that he have done. Prior to the election and since the election of December 12th, 2022. This is what the man is telling you. Performance don't matter in his mind because you all accept it.
But I ask myself, does it really matter? Because I saw that the Honorable Alexis Jeffers lost an election in December by 8 votes. 8 votes.
It cannot matter. Alexis Jeffers lost an election in December 2022 with 8 votes. That's what the baby Brantley is telling you. He, as the deputy premier, lost an election in December 2012. And guess what happened in 2023? If it didn't happen in December 2012, I know it happened in January 2023. The man get a post as an advisor for $10,000 a month. So it don't matter. He's making more money now as an advisor than when he was the deputy premier. So how does it matter? This is the mindset of baby Brantley. That is the mindset they have. You, the people, decide that he needs to go home because he's not doing a job. But the godfather of crime decided to bring him back and give him $10,000 a month as a stipend.
To someone who people didn't know, someone who came with not one idea for the people of St. James, but rather just a mantra of saying, time for change, let us change, let us change. And when I look around at what the Honorable Alexis Jeffers has done, when you go to Madden's, that housing development, you go down to the Indian Castle Fruit Orchard, you see the Newcastle Police Station, you see the road in Butlers, you see the Island Main Road now going all the way through from right there in at Cliff Dwellers going over now to Ex-Petrol in that Nisbet Plantation area. You see the water taxi pier, which has revolutionized travel. They do a lot of projects. We do a lot of projects. Yes, a little road here, a little road there, but there are few projects which you can point to and say they have revolutionized this island. And that water taxi pier is one of them. It has revolutionized travel between St. Kitts and Nevis and empowered a number of businesses. I tell people all the time that that water taxi business is 100% Nevisian owned at this point in time. Vision. And we're building out the rest of that infrastructure now. So you hear what I've mentioned? Housing at Madden's, one of the biggest and best housing developments on this island. You don't need to take my word for it. Go and look for yourself. Newcastle Police Station. I know because I was in the federal cabinet. When others, including some from Nevis, say, we don't need a police station in Newcastle, Alexis Jeffers was the one who insisted it has to happen. And it did. That water taxi pier at Wally, roads all up and down St. James. That fruit orchard on the Indian Castle, again, revolutionary. People now go there, can't believe. And in fact, just yesterday, we had the groundbreaking ceremony for the processing facility for poultry industry. And I was so pleased that the Honorable Eric Evelyn, the Deputy Premier, new Minister of Agriculture, invited the Honorable Alexis Jefferson and said, you know what, you come and turn this out because this is your legacy, that is and was your idea. So, you know, sometimes, as I said, I wonder, because when you look at people who have contributed so much, I think it was King Connery who sing a song about show me your trophy.
I wonder what trophy this man have to show us. Project after project's incomplete on Nevis. That's your trophy, baby Brantley? Projects after projects incomplete. From 2017 to now, every election cycle, you use the geothermal project as your campaign slogan. But yet, you blame the farmer hog for not giving you a letter. Now, the present Prime Minister give you the letter that you asked for. Is another story. Now you have to go and secure land from citizens and all this nonsense. The rig that's supposed to start the project last month, that you say would start last June, now you're saying it might not reach the Federation until December. All of these lies, all of this bullshit that people is accepting from you, baby Brantley. DJ Morrishaw ain't gonna stand for it. I spent 3 weeks in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. I went to Nevis twice. I searched the entire area for the Mango Fest. I didn't see one place. I can't find you. All I want to have a conversation with you in a baby Brantley, because I want to stop lying to the people. I just want to have one 5-minute or 50 minutes conversation with you. I want you to answer one session of question truthfully. Just cut out the lies, and you and I good. You know, you're somebody and I who get along. We get along prior to all the lies you tell me. If you wasn't telling me all these lies, I would not be on your case like this. I had believed in you, baby Brantley. As a matter of fact, following the farmer hog, I had you to be the next Prime Minister of the Federation. And it looked like that's what you're trying to get. You're being the shadow Prime Minister now that you could get into Prime Ministership. But I'm going to tell you, baby Brantley, 2 people in St. Kitts Nevis will not sit the Prime Minister seat as long as I'm alive, you know. Is you and the farmer hog, you know. Your opportunity for Prime Ministership is gone. I'm not easing up on you. There is nothing you can do to change the wind the tide here. Your opportunity to have my support as Prime Minister have gone. It's because of all your lies and dirtiness why this program came alive, you know. This coming November 8th gonna make 3 years. It should have been a 13 nights spin. Rosita tell me no, I cannot shut it down. Ione tell me no, I cannot shut it down. Naomi tell me no, I cannot shut it down. Hazel tell me no. Eustace said all the crew, they said no, you have to keep this thing rolling, Morrishaw. You cannot shut down this program. So, I mean, the gate open, the floodgate open, and we're not going no place. So, baby Brantley, take your exit nicely, man. We are all just passing through this place. We're gonna die, leave what we have. enjoy your little dollars that you get. Because if you continue down the road you're going to end up in one of them heavy gates, whether over there in Estridge or there at 1840. They say you slip away from the one in Anguilla. They say whatever you was involved with in Anguilla, you slip away from that for now. And some other gentleman in the States, the man dead, so you might have slipped away from that. But where we are right now in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, you can't get away from this one. You cannot get away from this one. We are on your trail. And we got our receipts then. And your people in your party talking about you, you know. Your people in your party fed up with you. People talking to me. The people that in your party, your junior minister and all of them boys, they're fed up with you. They're tired of the bad press. They want you gone. So if you do not know, me telling you now, the people in your party don't want you there no more. So you need to make your exit.
Trophies are there, and people still go and vote for somebody they don't know. They vote for somebody who has not contributed anything thus far, and more importantly, who did not come with one idea, not one commitment. And you ask the question, what really do our people want? Do they really want people who perform because you see the things in front of you, you see how life has been made better? Or do you want people who just come and out of nowhere, just arrive, just wake up like, what was his name was, Rip Van Winkle? Whoever it was, who they say slept for all these years, 20 years, and then you wake up. And people say, I prefer that to proven performance, a track record of performance. And these are the things that we must look at, you know. The end of the day, every man has a right and every woman has a right to vote for who they want to vote for. I'm not arguing that. But I sometimes try to wonder, what influences our people? What influences our people? And we have seen it before. I recall that Elhansville Hector came out of nowhere, unknown quantity, had not distinguished himself at anything. And he came up against Michael Perkins and won. This was in 2006. Michael Perkins has had a track record which at the time was unsurpassed in terms of development. A lot of things you take here for granted. Hunkins Drive, the one-way traffic through Charlestown, Moulton Avenue. We go up there, Marion Avenue. Housing, development. He was active and he produced. And at the end of the day, the people of Nevis, people of St. Paul's decided, you know what, we're going to go with an unknown quantity. A fellow, well, he talked good, but beyond that, nothing to show.
But baby Brant, you got the same problem. You came out of nowhere. You talk good. You got nothing to show that you have a good track record of finishing things. So every time you screw up, you have somebody to blame. You don't take no responsibility for your actions. I'm going to let you talk, you know, because I want the people to hear you for themselves. All you do is train spaghetti on the wall and hope that something stick. You're trying to do distraction. That's all you're doing. You're talking, but there is no substance. You are trying to make the people think you are doing something, but you're not doing anything. Continue talking, baby. Continue talking. As a baby just cry.
And you ended up over time seeing the mistake. Because just as there was no substance prior to being elected, there was no substance in government. And eventually the people of St. Paul's corrected that error. But you ask the question, why was the error made in the first place? Because you see the performances in front of you. Notwithstanding this manager, nothing happen. People will be taking their water taxi from the Wally water taxi pier while telling you nothing is happening. They will be relying on the police station in Comfort now at the Newcastle police station while telling you nothing is happening. They'll be driving on the roads, all of which are improved. And sometimes I wish my brothers and sisters from Sinkis to come over because they like to run on the Sinkis radio stations to spread propaganda about nothing happening. Come over, man. Come over for Mango Festival, and when you come, drive around.
Now, baby Brantley, I came over for Mango Festival, you know. And if it wasn't for one of your colleagues at the gate that accommodated me to go inside to do a little coverage, I would not get into the Mango Festival. And hundreds of people that had tickets did not get into the Mango Festival, while hundreds of people on the inside who got in did not get nothing to eat. Things were so disorganized, poorly managed, poorly put together. What you need to do, instead of throwing all of these spaghetti on the wall to make something stick, you need to go out and let the people know that purchase all those tickets and pay hotel, like at Wally, where people call me from Wally Beach Hotel, very upset because not only they had to pay a hotel bill to stay at Wally, they did not get inside the Mango Fest to eat and enjoy themselves or to view the things with the tickets they purchased. So baby Brantley, these are the people you need to reach out to. Tell them how they're going to get the money back, how they will be compensated. You cannot, every time you fail, you're cussing people. You cannot, every time somebody asks a question, you're cussing them. You decide to become a public servant. Once you became a public servant, people have a right to ask questions. People have a right to tell you when you are going wrong. And again, if the people of Nevis don't put a stop to this, you're going to continue. You've been doing it for too long. That is why you got people like me here speaking now. Because people are afraid of you. You have to get some kind of sense in your head that people are asking questions because you're doing wrong. If you are doing good, they'll be talking good things just the same. If you do good things, I'll be talking about the good things that you do. I came to the Mango Festival and luckily I made my first stop at Cabo. Cabo said, boy, Morrishaw, what you want to eat? I tell you, well, you not come from my goat water. He said, boy, contender, them was here yesterday and them boys eat up the goat water. I did not know you were coming, but how you feel about some fungi and fish? I said, man, whatever you could put together, that's fine, you know. And Cabo put together some lovely ball of corn with okra and thing and some snap and thing, you know. I had my cousins visiting from the UK, from Scotland to be exact. And there was a young lady there from Zimbabwe with them that visiting as well. And the lady, she ate her food like she would eat in Zimbabwe. She eat she fungi with she hand, take she hand and eat she fungi and suck up the gravy and do she thing. Cabo sit and eat with us. We had a good time. So luckily, Cabo take care of our stomach while we was at Cabo's. And he said to me, you know, he said, DJ, you're not sure what you're going to get when you go to the Mango Fest, you know, so eat here. Cabo took care of us. Not a cost. Took care of the guys, took care of all of us. My boy Glendale Hobart came by and had a drink with us as well. I make a stop by me girl Loretta down there at Culturama Bar. Pick up some drinks, so let me support Loretta. Loretta said, boy, DJ, now your money no good here now. You and your family enjoy yourselves. So thanks to Cabo and Loretta for taking care of us. People of Nevis are nice people. When they say Nevis nice, Nevis is nice. The people of Nevis is nice. But what kind of premier you all have? How you all could stand by and allow this kind of thing to happen in Nevis? How could one man destroy an entire island and you all stop there and accept it? I cannot fathom that. Too many sensible people living in Nevis that I know. Many of you who are living here in the diaspora. We got a boy there named Charles. Charles think he was the smartest man in New York, electrician there. How you all could stop down there and allow this baby Banty to do this damage? We got Glendale Hobart. You know. We got Moffett, Slack, and Mikey, and Jeff Pemberton. Come on, folks. You all need to get things together. Don't wait on the politician them to do it. The politicians cannot do it by themselves. Janice cannot do it by herself. The NRP team cannot do it by itself. All hands must be on deck, Nevisians. To get rid of that baby boy. They say his name Bible now. It's a waste of time. Waste of time as a leader. I love the young man as an individual, but as a leader, he's a waste of time. Continue checking your nonsense there, baby.
See for yourself.
See for yourself.
Because these are not secret projects. These are projects that are there for all to see. Go and visit in Madden's. Go up to University Heights. Lord, I forget to mention that about Alexis. $1 square foot is what we offered land for at University Heights to returning students. $1 a square foot. And you just have to go up there now to see the beautiful homes and the beautiful development, a masterful community that has been created up there. Again, the vision of Alexis Jeffers. So you ask, well, what is it that people want? What is it that people want? What is it they look for? Because you have a proven track record. You have somebody untainted by any whiff of scandal. He always says so, and I always tell him, you know something, you're a man of your word, because every other person who was in charge of land and housing, you hear all kind of things being said. Alexis came, that ministry was put in his hand, that department was put in his hand, and you have never heard one word suggested that he has got himself into anything untoward.
What about you? Has there been any word that you get yourself caught up in stuff? Your farmer hog said, you can't manage money, you can't spend. The more you get, the more you spend. But you're not spending it on the people and on the country. Where the money going? When you get the money to take care of the people, where is it going? Where is the people money? That is what we need to know.
So you look at all of that and you stack that up. And then you look at the other side. Oh, get rid of them, get rid of them. Time for change, get rid of them. What are you going to do? Well, I don't have any ideas. I'm not publishing any manifesto. But just get rid of them. And people responded to that, because at the end of the day, elections are won by vote. So people must have responded to that. And you ask the question, particularly to the people of St. James, the good people of St. James, you have therefore by 8 votes decided that Alexis will no longer be in the cabinet representing you. And so whereas other constituencies are trying to get into government, you put yourself in opposition. And you don't even have an opposition that is effective. You have an opposition that is really not committed, because they were never committed to the task at hand. I think we all know that. We all know that there were some forces in St. Kitts and elsewhere that were the puppet masters in relation to this particular leader that emerged out of nowhere for the NRP. We understand that. And so the people of St. James, oh, get rid of them, get rid of them. So you voted to put the constituency of St. James into opposition. So when something needs to be done in St. James now, who's the person that you will go to get it done? You don't have anybody in government anymore, because in cabinet, I mean, because you've decided that you're going to go with the get rid of them crowd. And you know what I find interesting, and I will say so. The election was on the 12th of December 2022, forgive me. The 12th of December 2022. The people of St. James, by 8 votes, decided that the leader of the NRP is the person they want to represent them. That is their choice. That was the choice that they made. The people of St. Thomas's decided that the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons was the person that they wanted to represent them. That too was their choice. The others constituency decided to stick in with CCM, and that too was their choice. And so CCM went back into office. But I want to say tonight, because I think it's important, that since the 12th of December, the representative for St. James, the Honorable Janice Daniel Hodge, has not engaged with me as the Premier of Nevis even once on anything to do for St. James or for the people of St. James. I think that's important, because if you start to add January, February, March, April, May, June, the government is now 6 months old, just over 6 months. And you mean to tell me in 6 months' time, the new representative of St. James has not identified one person that needs help, one project that needs doing, one thing that needs to happen in St. James. Absolutely nothing.
You know, baby Brantley, I cannot help but laugh. What if this thing wasn't so serious, it'll be laughable, but there's nothing to laugh about. You're talking about 6 months that the Honorable Janice Daniel Hodge was elected to represent St. James, and she haven't identified any project to be done. You are the government. You are in government. It is your responsibility to take your project on the entire island. Whether you win that seat or not, that is what your government was elected to do, you claim. Or you cheat, or whatever it is. Whether you steal the government, you win the government, you are in government. The opposition does not have responsibility to decide what project, that is your job. But when you're talking about 6 months with the Honorable Janice Daniel Hodge, the farmer had spoke about you did not bring nothing to cabinet for 7 years, with the exception of what you brought for yourself and for your colleague. Nothing for the people of Nevis. Compare 6 months to 7 years. You was in government. You was a part of the government in the federal cabinet. Janice is in opposition. So let's talk about yourself. This kind of smoke screen you're trying up to take directions from you, attention from yourself, is not going to work. DJ Morrishaw will not allow that. You did a lot of damage to the Federation. You say you're going to put Douglas in the retirement home. You're going to put him in the history of politics. Dougie is back there. Dougie have your job. The job that you had as foreign minister. You promised all kind of things going to get done. You didn't bring nothing. Little or nothing. Dougie is now back on track, repairing the damage. Stop complaining. Stop cussing the people. You know you're not capable of doing the job. Step away. Let someone who is capable of doing the job step in. Your partners in your party, they're fed up of you. They're tired of you. The writing is on the wall. They're cussing. I'm hearing the things. I got my receipts. The people them don't want you in your party. The people of Nevis don't want you. If they didn't tell you, or if they tell you publicly, I am telling you what I'm hearing. And I'm getting it from good sources. They say you need to go. They say you said Vance was getting old and Douglas was old. Well, you're old like them now to say you need to go. That is the talk of the town. You cannot compare Janice 6 months in opposition to your 7 years in government. That's wrong. That maths just don't work out. You like to quote Conway's. Listen to Conway's song them. The equation don't equate. You talk about Conway's trophy song. You say Conway says show you his trophy. Your equation in Conway's song don't equate. You cannot compare 6 months in opposition in the NIA to 7 years in federal government. You're the one that you say you penned the Charleston Accord. After 7 years, you say you ain't getting your fair share. The farmer had said that was not Charleston Accord. The farmer said that was a Honda Accord. That couldn't be a Charleston Accord because you did not bring nothing to the table. Not one time you bring anything to the table. So that was not a Charleston Accord. You was only concerned about yourself and your partner. So continue chatting your nonsense, baby Brantley. Let the people hear you.
But Alexis Jeffers, who was not re-elected, keeps calling me, wants this done and wants that done in St. James. And people may not like it, but I'm going to make the comparison tonight. Because the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons, who was also elected on an NRP ticket for the parish and the people of St. Thomas's, keeps harassing me about certain things that she wants done for persons or projects that she wants to do in St. Thomas's. And I have Latoya Jones, who was the candidate for the CCM in St. Thomas's, equally harassing about getting projects done in St. Thomas's.
I said, me ask, what is man talking about? You spend millions of dollars putting up Latoya against Cleon in the last election. Now the two of them harassing you to get project done. Baby Brantley, are you serious? You're talking out your head, man. You can't be serious. You got to be talking out your head. You are telling us that the lady you spend millions on to get rid of Cleon is coming to you want project done while Cleon coming want the same thing done. Where Cleon is part of CCM now. And I understand them, you know, true it is. But they say you want Cleon to be part of CCM and your colleagues said, no, not us. That can't happen. So continue talking your nonsense.
So the person was elected and the person who was not elected are both advocating. In St. James, the only person I'm hearing from is the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Certainly the other constituencies are represented. St. John's by myself, St. Paul's by the Honorable Spencer Brand, St. George by the Honorable Eric Evelyn. And so you ask again the question, well, who is representing the people of St. James? Who is coming forward to say, well, Punsi down here so by this area here in Whitehall needs some help? The fellow up there, Paul, up there in Brickhill needs some help. There's a little project down here in Butlers that needs to be done. Not a word. Not one word. You know what she has reached out to me on, the leader of the NRP? Making noise about money and office for the opposition. That's what she has put pen to paper to me about. NRP wants money from the government and NRP should have some office for the opposition. I have not yet seen any communication, correspondence, WhatsApp, letter, visit, appointment, nothing from her in relation to the people of St. James. Now maybe after tonight, and I've said so publicly, she will spring to life, and if that is the case, well, so be it. But I wanted to say that because I keep saying to myself, well, what happened? 6 months on, the people of St. James don't want nothing. They made that choice. That is their choice. But the person that they have chosen has not come forward with one thing. So nobody in St. James need anything done. Nothing in the communities in St. James need doing. But the man who keeps calling me is Alexis Jeffers. And I believe that that has to be said. And you see again, I draw the distinction between the two NRP representatives that were elected, because the one in St. Thomas's keep harassing me. I can't hear from the one in St. James. Not a peep. What is it we want as a people? In terms of representation, what is it we are looking for? That's an important question. And that is one that only the voter can answer.
And I hope they answer it soon, you know, Brother Brantley. Baby Brantley, they're going to answer it soon. Because the way you're talking, you know, you're acting like Alexis Jeffers is not getting paid for the area. Alexis Jeffers is still the representative in the federal cabinet, you know. He's getting paid to do the work. He's getting paid from the federal coffers. Whatever stipend he's getting something. Are you giving him 10,000 a month for doing what? Even donkey got more sense than you. Them donkey they're killing in Nevis, maybe they should replace you one of them. Because you're talking a lot of harshness. As a matter of fact, you know, tonight we're going to roll the clips of, you know, because after Baby Brantley done chatting nonsense last Wednesday night, you know, my boys them there and Target Saturday, you know, they went deep to, you know. My boy Tulu and Mr. Daly and Hells, you know, they went deep to, you know. So let's run into on Target. Let's deal with the Target things here, because I ain't staying late with you tonight, you know, Ivan. I'm doing 2 hours and I'm gone. I'm still having jet lag. I'm still tired from my trip down in the Federation. So let's deal with on Target and continue here.
It's the simplest things. is to submit your declarations on or before the first quarter of the month of the year. Normally they do it before December or in December or January. I saw Eric submitting his last week. All right, so that is all it seems to be that they're interested in doing, accumulating files of declared assets. That's all.
But does the law?
And we don't have access to those files, so we don't know what is being declared. So it is the most useless piece of legislation anywhere on the books.
As it stands now.
They can boast about they have operationalized the piece of legislation. They can boast about that. Or they have an office. You can refer a matter. But what good is referring the matter to the commission, and they cannot give you an outcome because they have no power to investigate? It's the most nonsensical. And these are the kind of things that the intelligentsia of Nevis, the lawyers of Nevis, whoever got one operating brain cell in their head should be saying. They should be singing out loud. Because as a politician, people always say politicians are the worst people in the world. Besides lawyers. And if you're a lawyer plus a politician, you're going straight to hell. That is what people think. Not me, That's what people think that way.
Okay.
Right? Because in people's view, and this is a world census, in people's view, the two worst professional careers you could pick is a lawyer and a politician. You understand? And so, if you are feeling that way as a voter, that politicians are not good, they lie, they cheat, they're bad, and lawyers are going to do anything to defend their clients, even to this point of being illegal, then it would common sense to dictate, let us make sure these pieces of legislation are in place to protect us.
But if they're no good, how would they put something in place that is going to turn around and penalize them?
That's a good question. I hear the answer. This is why you need a robust, effective opposition in Parliament. A robust, effective opposition. And this is what countries need. Every country needs a strong opposition to point out these failures in our legislation. That is the problem. And if you look at what Brantley has been trying to do for the last 5 years, is to ensure that there is no opposition in Parliament. None. And we are now coming around to seeing, from the last election in 2022, we are seeing the whole push towards getting all 5 seats to make sure there is no credible opposition to look closely at these pieces of legislation when they're being brought to the Parliament for discussion.
If I give teeth to the commission, similar to what Paul mentioned taking care is happening in Jamaica, I believe that all the members of the government will find themselves in serious trouble. And knowing that I will find myself in trouble, I make sure craft the law in such a way that nobody really could investigate what I'm doing. Because as long as there is nothing legal about it, there is no legal footing to it, then who's going to investigate? So right now I cannot blame the commission. It's the remit that they have.
I'm not blaming the commission. Let me say this. Why do you think Brantley is throwing gasoline in the fire with this Cleon matter?
They want investigation into him.
No. He does not want a robust opposition in Parliament. He wants a divided Parliament. And that's why he keeps egging on Cleon Stephenson Simmons to go down this dark path, encouraging her to continue this nonsense he's doing. It's in his best interest.
Daily, stick a pin. We're going to take a break. You know why?
Why?
Because I see somebody outside with food, which means they want us to go till 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. So let's take a break. Let's play an ad so we can get the food, because it looks like we're going to be here till 1 o'clock in the morning. We're going to be back right after this.
If you are drinking plastic bottled water, chances are you're consuming plastic contaminants, BPA, and other hormone-disrupting chemicals you cannot see with your naked eye. Those empty plastic bottles take up to 450 years to decompose. In the meantime, plastic bottles are polluting the environment. They are dangerous to the planet and our health. The safer solution is to acquire your own Kangen alkaline water filtration system, and you will never have to buy toxic bottled water again. Help save the planet and drink clean water for less than the price you'll pay for acid plastic bottled water over the next few years. The Kangen technology is the world's most popular, most acquired water immunizer. For more information, you can call or WhatsApp us on 917-207-1307. That's 917-207-1307. Change your water, change your life.
Yeah, so I said that that program was on target, but it's Tell Me with brother Carlisle Powell, brother Daly, and Tulu. So yes, back to the conversation.
And welcome back to Tell Me, where I have to tell you that during the break we took delivery of what looked like dinner and breakfast. So we might be here all night till tomorrow morning. Yeah. And we have to say thanks to Tanya Powell. Powell must be involved. Lydia Paris, Latasha Paris, and Gavincia Clark of Level Up, which means that we have good food and drink there for us to go long if we are in the studio for a long time tonight. Now, gentlemen, we were talking about integrity in public life. And a news article came out this week, which it's dated February 13th. And it made me smile, it made me wince, and it made me want to get angry all over again. And I'll tell you why. It featured the Premier of Nevis doing his filing before the Integrity Commission. Bear in mind that I insist that the Integrity Commission in Nevis is useless. Absolutely useless. They exist to receive the filings. I don't know why is it that you have an Integrity Commission with an Integrity in Public Life Act, which is watered down from the Federal Integrity in Public Life Act. My argument has always been, if the federal law supersedes the local law, and the federal law has teeth, you charge them under that federal law, because they're still citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. Somebody will have to argue and tell me, no, it can't be done that way. But it was deliberately done that way by Mark Brantley and the CCM so that they could slip through the cracks. Now, something in the release that came out on the 13th that made me wince and smile at the same time. They are quoting Mark Brantley, and it says, "It is a demonstration of my government's commitment to greater transparency and good governance." Now hear this. I don't know that there has been any government in the history of Nevis that has been more transparent than this government. We are open. It was my government that put the Integrity in Public Life legislation in place. It is my government that passed the legislation for freedom of information. Although the legislation has not yet been brought into force, owing to the technical circumstances of having agents, but we are working on it. We will bring that into force. The Integrity in Public Life Act was brought to the Parliament of Nevis. I was a member of the Parliament in 2013, 10 years ago. And up to this present moment, you want to tell me that you can't get it to function. And you have the very best government, the most transparent government. This is the same government that was planning to sell the airport in Nevis and didn't tell the people of Nevis anything. It's the exact same government. So how is it that they're so transparent? No government in Nevis has ever had as many issues as this one. None.
The thing is, Powell, whenever the Premier says anything, you got to look at it from the opposite side. If he tells you that he's been honest, it's the same time he's practicing dishonesty. He's not. If he tells you I am truthful, at the same time he's telling you a lie. And so the people of Nevis should know by now, and I believe they should know by now, that when it comes to transparency in CCM, there's none. This is a guy who do everything shrouded in secrecy. If he was so transparent, how come that the greatest asset that we have, which is the Vance W. Army International, is up for barter, whatever the bargain arrangement is, but the people of Nevis knew absolutely nothing about it until something leaked out and we found out. What transparency is there?
Carlyle, I want you to read that section that speaks about Freedom of Information Act again, please.
I'll pull it up for you. It is my government that passed the legislation for freedom of information. Although that legislation has not yet been brought into force, owing to the technical circumstances of having agents, but we are working on it. We will bring it into force.
If anybody out there who are listening can tell me when the Freedom of Information Act was passed in our NIA assembly, I'll give you a sheep egg. Tell me what year. You don't have to tell me the day or the month. Tell me what year the Freedom of Information Act was passed in our House of Assembly here on Nevis. I'm going to wait a second. I want to see who's going to respond.
All right, Daily, you just come with some,
people are Googling.
you just come with some stuff, Daily.
Right?
Just come with the answer, brother Daily. Just come with the answer.
I ain't seen nobody answer yet. So I'm going to tell you the answer. 2018. 2018. 5 years ago. The act was passed in the Assembly, Nevis House of Assembly, in 2018. And this man, who is priding himself as being transparent and accountable, is hiding the act. He's preventing the act from being operationalized. That's what he's doing. He's hiding. So when he's talking about transparency, ask yourself the simple question. What piece of legislation that was passed in the NIA Assembly, Nevis Island Assembly, Nevis House of Assembly, sorry, in 2018 that will make all this information vacuum disappear, where the Nevis people would have full access to every single contract, every single contractor, every single job, everything that this government does. Why is he hiding? Why is he not operationalizing that piece of legislation? If he's so fair-minded and so transparent. Listen, people can talk and say whatever they want. My father used to say, bullshit does walk. And this is BS. And keep walking. Because if he was serious, show me in action what you have done. How long does it take Carlyle to find a mechanism to deliver the information that people want? There's one person in each ministry that has full access to every single piece of information.
He's called a permanent secretary.
It's called a permanent secretary. All the financials, all the contracts, whatever funding has to go through the ministry, whether it's public works, whether it's tourism, whatever once involves dispensation of government funds, it has to go to the permanent secretary. So who better to dispense information? So it is not an issue where you need to identify anybody. The person is there already. The person is there already. So don't let all this colorful language about trying to find a mechanism to deal with it. It's nonsense. And the people of Nevis should be asking him, how much more longer before you identify a permanent secretary? You got 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't
and
want
5 years
information
gone.
out.
5 years gone.
He do not want information out because that's going to make him look good.
But Tulu, look at this again. You remember a couple of years ago, they told us that, listen, we're putting a freeze on hiring. And right after they put a freeze on hiring, what did they do? They hired Latoya, right?
Yeah. They say the same thing. He said they put a
freeze on hiring, and they hire Alexis, right?
That's what.
What are the numbers with regards to Alexis? And what expertise does he bring so that he would be able to get foreign direct investment?
The thing, that's why I said to you earlier that whenever the Premier said he's not going to, he's going to do.
Well,
he's opposite of everything that he says.
Let me put something else on the table. Which estates and what amounts of land on Nevis have been used as security for the debt that we continue to build up? You have any idea? You have any idea, Dr. Daly?
All of them.
Let me play a clip and you will get an idea as to some of the lands which have been used to secure the government debt.
Whereas each director hereby confirm that he has no interest in the matters referred to in the resolution, by reason of a financial interest or relationship with any of the parties to the business transaction referred to, and whereas the directors gave due consideration to all details of the matters and transactions described in the resolution below, and have decided that the entry by the company in the transactions will be to the company's corporate benefit, and whereas the chairman and directors consider the memorandum of mortgage to be made between the company, the Nevis Island Administration, and the St. Kitts Nevis National Bank Limited over the following properties. First one, 86.50 acres of land situated at Pinny's Estate, St. Thomas's. Second one, 23.0856 acres of land situated in Pinny's Estate, St. Thomas's, Nevis. And third one, 238.82 acres of land situated at St. George, Nevis, known as Stockpen. The lands will be transferred to the bank for resale, Carlisle, by a special purpose vehicle so as to reduce the debt of the NIA. The secured lands cover a consolidated debt of $64,643,130. Let's stop there because people need an explanation. First of all, these lands at Pinny's, you know where they come from? They are part of the lands returned to us by Newfound.
Correct.
Some 172 acres were returned to us, but in that 172 acres we had ravines and guts, etc. Now, I want to make it absolutely clear. When we left government in January of this year, Carlisle, those lands were still being surveyed. My administration had been in discussion with Laurie Lawrence, PS Finance, and the Bank of Nevis, this is not the National Bank, the Bank of Nevis, to have these lands transferred for debt. In other words, the swap would have been between Bank of Nevis and the government. That transaction wouldn't have taken place for two reasons. Firstly, the Bank of Nevis did not want a land swap. They eventually made a different arrangement. The lands were not yet surveyed. So my administration could not have had anything to do with this transfer here. That was written nowhere. That was not anywhere on record that we left behind. So whatever transfer was negotiated here with National Bank had to be negotiated with the present administration and the government.
I played that because a lot of people in Nevis don't understand which lands on which estates have been used as security. And this is about the land for debt that CCM was dead set against. They campaigned against land for debt. But they came into office, and what did they do? They went straight ahead with the land for debt. And the lands down at Pinny's are right there on the edge of the Newfound property. We took back 172 acres from Newfound. And they used some of that 172 acres for the land for debt. And then they use some lands at Stockpen. But do you know that lands at New River and lands at Eden Brown have also been used as security for government loans?
Kids, babe.
The people of Nevis have not been told these stories, but we want people to understand. The Premier says that this is the most transparent government in the history of Nevis. But do you, the people, agree? Do you know which lands have been used for the land for debt swap? And even as you talk about land for debt, I want to, you say, Kate's best, so my mind went on the roads which are being fixed over there. The people of Nevis, you realize that the government of Nevis borrowed enough money from Social Security to fix the entire stretch of road? And only used, how much you said they had used? 12 million?
They borrowed 20 in the first instance. They used 6.5. The other 13.5, nobody seems to know
Nobody
what
know where
happened.
he gone?
They went back for another 11 to do the same road. So, in total, $31 million have been borrowed to fix that one stretch of road.
One stretch of road, of which they have used 6 million plus whatever is the sorry paving contract.
11 million.
13 million still missing.
Yeah, 13.5 to be exact.
And they said that they are transparent. So we just want to put these things there for your consideration. You must tell me if they are really as transparent as they say they are. I don't think so.
We don't know. For example, I mean, look how long ago the Hanley's Road project was completed.
How much it cost?
We don't know. We don't know how much the Craddock Road project costs. We don't know how much the Brownhill project costs. We don't know how much the Bath project is going to cost. All right? So we know those projects that have been funded by the federal government, the OLEP, we know they got $5 million from the government. They know expended $6.5 million. The project's still ongoing. We know the airport, the Newcastle police station was to cost $3.5 million, ended up costing over $5.5 million. Still can't fit the fire truck in it. So we know of those projects that the hospital project, $19 million, most of the money coming from the federal government.
Treasury building.
The treasury building, it was supposed to be $5 million, it's gone past $8.5 million. So
Mondo truck.
The Mondo truck was a $20 million project, $15 million gone. Still can't get a stand in it. When it rains, everybody get wet. So we know what the federal end of it, but we don't know how much the NIA has put into these projects over the years. So again, transparency and accountability, those are buzzwords to make people feel comfortable. But in actuality, you can't get the information. There's no conduit for that information, and it's deliberate. It is deliberate.
By the time they come to give us some figures, they're going to be bogus figures.
But let me tell you something, one more thing. When former Prime Minister Harris started disclosing how much hundreds of millions given, what was the first response to the Premier? Nothing got so. And as the numbers started rolling in, Dr. Bartlett was the one who was cataloging the numbers. And even when Brantley tried his very best to sum up all the projects, he could not get to the 500 million. He could not.
No,
he was still short by $100 and something million.
At that time, it was $200 million when he came up short. He went at 5 years.
No, it was 400 when Dr. Harris put out that number.
The first number the Harris put out was 200 million.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to quibble about 100 million, 200 million. But the fact remains, $100 and something million cannot be accounted for.
Out of the 200?
Out of the 500 million.
Oh boy.
Cannot be counted for. 1/5 of the money cannot be accounted for. And this is reality. I mean, think about the consequences of this for a moment. I spoke to some young students there who just graduated. They want to go off to university. The government said they got no money. You got some fellows who want to go to learn a trade. The government ain't got no money. Dialysis patient want care. The government ain't got no money. Think of the benefit of having used all of the money judiciously with good financial control. We could have got a cruise pier. We could have spent that money on developing the airport project, the same money they're borrowing from this gentleman from Europe. I mean, think of all the things we could have done to advance the development of this country if that only had a little bit of common sense and some vision and stop, all this waste and embezzlement and theft and fraud.
Listen.
It's simple.
Gentlemen, again, I will repeat, the Concerned Citizens Movement have no interest in developing up Nevis for the good of the people of Nevis. Their focus is to do everything that they can do to stay in power, to make sure that they enrich themselves and those who are close around them. That's the whole thing. We are not factored in this equation. If we were factored in, every move they made, they would have tell us about it.
But he said they're transparent.
I told you already when he said he's transparent. In the opposite
Look in the opposite direction.
Look in the opposite direction.
But sorry, so to belabor the point. But I like details.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a stickler for details. I hate stupidity. I hate mediocrity. I hate them with a passion. And when this man comes with this stupid statement about his government is one of transparency, I get angry.
Cool down.
Because
Simmer down.
we have been preaching from this very platform here in 2020 Vision. I've written about it several times, asking the people of Nevis to take control of this country with your vote, because this government here is not accountable to you, and the evidence is there. You think that prosecution in Jamaica could have happened without good law?
Independent people.
Independent people. Pandey in Trinidad went jail.
Yep. You see why the man have to protect himself? The whole thing here is Pandey, you know. They have already concluded if we put teeth to this thing, we're going to go to jail. And so therefore, no teeth is there. Nobody can really investigate. We are going to run free.
Well, let me ask a question here, because somehow I've been hearing whispers that the medical school in Nevis has either been sold again or is about to be sold. Anyone of you heard about that?
Sold again?
Where it was sold before. You think it's the original owners are still the owners? No, Tulu.
I haven't heard anything.
Well, my ears are always down to the ground. And I heard whispers that the school had been sold. So I am going to have to do some deeper investigation into that matter. Because the first time that it was sold, nobody knew, you know. Nobody knew. There was not a whisper.
Transparency in government.
Transparency, but not a whisper. Change owners.
What became of that building over there at Potworks?
I was actually down there yesterday. Day before.
Is it open?
It's up, not open.
What
I
is
saw
it?
no activity whatsoever.
But what is
I still don't know. Transparency. Remember that the government is transparent.
That is transparency.
Did they tell us that a business was coming down there? No.
That is what transparency
It's
looks
transparency.
like in the eyes of the premier. You not knowing is transparency. The people not knowing transparency.
So it took a hack of Mr. Drahi's files for us to learn about the transaction at the airport.
Correct.
It took a hack for us to learn about that. I don't know what it will take for us to know to learn about what's going on with the MUA or the building done by MUA or any other transaction, because this government here is clam shut. Clam shut. You know how tight a clam is? You can't open it with your hands.
I am sure in all of these things that we're talking about, if the door was open for us to see inside, you'd see ministers of the government hands all over these things. That's why you have to hide. Because if you are honest and truthful with the people, you don't put it out there for everybody to see. But the fact that you have to hide behind the cover of darkness, it means you are doing something that is not on the up and up, is not above board. Up to now, we haven't found out how much money they spend on that well apartment yet, either.
I would like to know, gentlemen, further, you know, the full extent of the land for debt swap. And right now, every single loan that the government takes has to be secured by land. All right? Social Security, the last count I had, the government had owed Bank of Nevis well over $99 million. And I know they have, you know, a lot of board members and they who are system supporters, and so, but even so, they must be asking for some kind of security to hold those kind of loans. All right, $99 million on a bank of Bank of Nevis. They have I mean, set up millions from Social Security. All right? I mean, I want to see the budget so bad. I'm salivating to hear the budget presentation because the focus has to be on that monumental debt that we have accumulated over the last few years.
Well, the question must come from Dr. Daly, and the people must ask the government, even as they ask themselves, what is there to show for all of these millions of dollars in debt that we have accumulated?
What is it to show?
Here, if you saw something and say, well, listen, the money was spent, here's where it was spent, we say, yes, the money was well spent, but we can't find anything.
Well, the Premier says you have roads, you have walls. I mean, I drove in Bath yesterday, Carlisle, Tulu. And I promised myself I wasn't going to say anything about Bath anymore. But my God. My God.
No, not leave God out of this one here.
I can't understand.
But you need him to work a miracle to fix these roads.
I don't understand.
No, God is not going to come down and do that.
I don't understand how people can be so negligent of one community. I mean, you started the road project before the elections. We're heading into the third month of the year. And not a stroke has happened in Bath since the government declared the elections to be starting in December 12th. And the rain keeps falling and washing out the road, and the trucks keep coming and dumping new fill, and it's just criminal. Anybody who have the transit into Bath, you know, I don't know how people can look at this and think this is progress. Fix the road. Get done with it.
Listen.
Gentlemen, let's take a break. When we come back, we want to talk about... coming back.
Gentlemen, I'm going to take a break from this mess because the honest truth is this, that if the people of Nevis does not take the wheel of the country and get rid of baby Brantley, they ain't going to be no Nevis for you all, you know, because Nevis is going to be a debt that can be repaid in this lifetime, you know. I can tell you all this. You're going to take our few kids of the future to pay those bills. So my people of Nevis, I hope you all are paying attention and understand that this time is now to act. We have to hold those people accountable. Baby Brantley must go. Boy Blue must go. Step up the pressure, increase the momentum. You have to increase the momentum, because if you don't, they're going to be no Nevis for the good people of Nevis to go back to. All of you out here talking about you all as CCM supporters and mark this and mark that, you are going to find out when you try to get back there, you're going to be seeking permission to enter into your land, and you'll be denied permission. Don't forget about the lady that lied down across the sand there when the kids was training for the Olympic, you know. That was just the writing on the wall. More to come. My good people, this weekend, Friday to Sunday, is the answer reunion here in Anguilla. And I'm going to drop this clip, give a little mileage there to the folks here by the Carson Connor and the crew there in Anguilla. Stand by.
Hello? Hello? Lam, I know you just waking up, but I had to call you. Them say ANSA 2023 gonna be in Anguilla from July 14 to 16. Yes, ANSA is when Anguilla, St. Kitts, and Nevis people join together from North America, Europe, and the Caribbean to exchange ideas and educate and inform each other. This is the best way to meet our nationals coming back. The theme is unified by a collective effort for a common goal. And you know Apane hosting it, the Anguilla Progressive Association of New York. So you know this all about promoting social and economic development of our people using advocacy, education, and service. You got to come celebrating Anguilla this year. This is the 20th biennial Anguilla Nevis St. Kitts Association's reunion. Them expecting over 300 Caribbean people from all over the world. And businesses gonna showcase them brands, and they having a banquet dinner, a marketplace, and social events. You ain't started looking for flights yet? July 14th to 16th, you got to be here in Anguilla. That weekend gonna be full of experiences, events day and night. A welcome reception gonna be by the Anguilla Great House. They gonna have dinner and dancing at Aurora, a fashion show and awards at Blue Ridge, workshops, lectures, a church service, a cultural explosion, a tour of the island. Listen, this trip gonna be better than all your other visits combined. You can even be a sponsor or advertiser for the event and get featured on the website and the Answer 2023 magazine. Companies can showcase their products and services to a wider audience outside the traditional markets. Go to the website answer2023anguilla.com and download the form or buy your e-tickets for any events you want. Tickets cost between $15 and $400 for the entire thing. If you want to know any more, send an email to apane@apa-ny.org. Anyhow, go book your flight, then you can go back sleep. I can see you.
Yes, so that's the answer reunion day in Anguilla, starting this coming Friday. Don't forget to check it out. For you Anguillians there in Anguilla, you should be already there doing your thing. And for you who have not arrived in Anguilla as yet, you still have a couple days to get there. Go and check out the Anguilla thing and you know how it is. Support. You're not gonna drop this track because I just want folks to know, you know, Mick Stokes sing a song there. I'm gonna drop a little tribute for Mick Stokes right about now, as we wish his family well, the Honorable Prime Minister, Sister Sensei and co. You know, just as Mick Stokes said, all my dedication is for you. That is where I'm at. For the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis and the people of St. Kitts Nevis, my life is dedicated to continue to stimulate your brain and make you think about what you want for yourself and for your country. Because if you continue to let baby Brantley and his crew to handle things the way they are, pretty soon. So my folks.
Happy music is on its way. Spoons like dirt. All my dedication is for you. You're my love is strong and it's so true. And everywhere you go, I'll be there too. 'Cause all my dedication is for you. I sing the song with feeling, all my love revealing, and to help the situation, I dedicate the song. And whatever I do, my darling, I try to be real true. 'Cause all my dedication is for you. Come on, boys. All my dedication is for you. Girl, my love is strong and it's so true. Everywhere you go, I'll be there too. 'Cause all my dedication is for you. Spoons like that. All my dedication is for you. Girl, my love is strong and it's so true. Everywhere you go, I'll be there too. 'Cause all my dedication is for you. Oh, I'll be so happy to know that you belong to me. It's really my delight to be with you tonight. It's always my desire to get you out and ever. 'Cause all my dedication is for you. All my dedication is for you. Girl, my love is strong and it's so true. And everywhere you go, I'll be there too. 'Cause all my dedication is for you. Smooth like that.
Yeah, sound of the man Mickey Stokes. That one is called All My Dedication is for You. Good evening, Sister Ann Farrell Smith. How you doing? You know, while you're going to have your dedication, you got to also try a little kindness, try entertain, try to educate, try to love, you know. It's all about the love.
If you see your brother standing by the road with a heavy load from the seeds he sowed, and you see your sister walking by the way, just stop and say, you're going the wrong way. You've got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And when you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness by the narrow-minded people in the narrow-minded street. Just don't walk around the town and out. Lend a helping hand instead of doubt. And the kindness that you show every day will help someone along their way. You've got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And when you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness by the narrow-minded people in the narrow-minded street. Just shine your light for everyone to see. And when you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness by the narrow-minded people in the narrow-minded street. You've got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And when you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness by the narrow-minded people in the narrow-minded street.
Yes, that's a song of the late great Mick Stokes. May his soul rest in eternal peace. But you heard me spoke about the man Ali earlier. These recordings are not the best, not in clarity, because they was done back in the 70s, 80s. But I got to play a tribute to my boy Ali, one of renowned singers there out of the Sandy Point area, live in the Virgin Islands, passed away in the wee hours of yesterday morning. So this is the King Ali singing about our independence back in, I think, 1983.
Petitions and division, now you're independent. You must not become complacent with your great achievements. Let us join our hands together in this great endeavor, only working harder to make this nation greater. For this is no time to joke, time to work. Nation building must come first. Each and every citizen, it is your obligation to see your nation moving on, to see your country proud and strong, and see the end of exploitation, and guarantee equal rights for every man. And then our freedom would be beneficial to you and me, and will say thank God, thank God, thank God. For this your nation will work, will fight, will die.
The mighty Ali. Rest in peace, my brother.
Years of victimization, degradation and oppression, we have now broken free from Britain and colonialism. It was men like Robert Bradshaw, Sim Daniel and Manchester, these and many others, they helped to shape this nation's future. What we need is unity, not enmity, to proceed progressively. Then future generation will go up to understand we have a nation moving on. We'll have a country proud and strong. We'll see the end of exploitation and guarantee equal rights for every man. And then our freedom won't be beneficial to you and me. And we'll say thank God, thank God, thank God. For this your nation will work, will fight, will die. Not slave masters should be welcome to our island, so that citizens of this nation could make gainful contribution. Tourism and agriculture should be pursued with added vigor, because in years later they might prove to be your savior. Let's not be too partisan, but understand independence for every man with your grand constitution, respected by everyone. We'll have our nation moving on. We'll have a country proud and strong. We'll see the end of exploitation and guarantee equal rights for every man. And then our freedom would be beneficial to you and me. And we'll say thank God, thank God, thank God. For this your nation will work, will fight, will die. For our nation will work, will fight, will die. For this your nation will work, will fight, will die.
The mighty Ali. Yes, that's the mighty Ali out of Sandy Point there. Took flight there and the wee hours of the morning on Tuesday. My sympathy goes out to Brother Brown and the rest of the family. Now, as we head back over to my brother there, the icon, the man Mick Stoke, I'm gonna drop a little medley here. Some beats there for my boy Jetty. He said he wanted to jet across to the markup fella. Partner, enjoy yourself. Tanya Power, good evening, how are you doing? The man there, Ivor Henry, everything good, everything wassy. Stand by for my brother there, brother Mickey Stokes. The man Curtis Crook, hope all is well.
The stories from Russia send a letter to the newspaper. Say we hope we are welcome for next year's celebration. All we friends don't tell we, they book their flight already. We don't tell the beer we ain't staying here if you playing master. We want to see how politicians jump up again. We can't forget boxing morning when they jumping like they're racing. Murder and tongue, them woman and man. Plenty bacchanal when you jump up and say it's gonna.
Yeah,
she done tell Papi that he's some stupid. All me wife can do is walk and whine. All me wife can do is walk and whine. Give her rice, she want it flat. Give her corn, she cook it full and feet. All me wife can do is walk and whine. Man, she could walk and whine. Walk and whine. Oh, she could walk and whine. Remember how we used to jump, how we used to shake we bam. Anytime we hear a bang, commotion in the land. It don't happen so no more. All that done go through the door. Oh, let's bring back the days of rock, cause we bag and go the best in the world. 1, 2, 3, go back and see. This is how we keep vision dance. Young and old, as we must all let the garden must go to the ground. 1, 2, 3, go back and see. This is how we keep vision dance. Young and old, as we must all let the garden must go to the ground.
That's the music back in the days. Yes, Delicious Nicholas. I hope you're enjoying the song. We're gonna jam here to drop in. I'm gonna drop this one for my son there, brother Jeffroy Jr., hanging with us from the LA area. Want to say good evening to Sister Jazz as well. How about Sister Cora Bennett? How are you doing? Tracy Powell, Tracy Jeffords. Hope you guys are well. My girls here in the UK, Sister Yvonne Jeffords. How about Millie? And my girl there, Charlie Daniel. How are you doing? Everything good? Jennifer, Sylvia, the man Jerry. Hope all is well with you guys. Sandra. Just gonna drop this one here. Sweet music for you folks there in the UK. Diana Lawrence Clark.
Bondage of mental slavery, I just had to find one on me. To see the food and I cannot find Mr. D. way I only want you to play this sweet, sweet music. Let me waste, I feel it play. Let me sway, jingle. Midnight, then Mr. DJ play this sweet, sweet music. Let me roll and shake it. Keep them records spinning around so I could put it down.
Oh yeah. Mr. Sandrine Daly, how you doing? My son Barry, how you doing? Mr. Dibaslo.
Once I got the booze, I could not refuse. I drink the rum till I couldn't move. Music cleanse me from the alcohol in my body. My lady friend, she left me again, cause I can't take she out on the weekend. Mr. DJ, help me take me troubles away. I only want you to play this sweet, sweet music. Let me waste, I feel it play. Let me sway, jingle. Make night, Mr. DJ, play this sweet, sweet music. Let me roll and shake it. Keep them records spinning around, so let me put it down. Get up. Lit.
The man, my lover. How you doing, my brother? Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown.
Many times I run from the Babylon. They want to torture this musician. Music I give. I'm a lover, so I must live. So much business and can't depend on friends. They must be paid, but I don't know when. Mr. DJ, help me take me problems away. I only want you to play this sweet, sweet music. Let me waste, I feel it play. Let me sway, jingle. Midnight, Mr. DJ, play this sweet, sweet music. Let me roll and shake it. Keep them records spinning around so I could book it down. I say, get up, move, y'all.
So we do it.
Get that kind of boogie. Ha! Sweet music, I feel it. Oh, play this sweet, sweet music. Let me roll and shake it, play. Let me sway the jingle. Play this sweet, sweet music. Let me roll and shake it. Keep on the record, keep on the rhythm, spin it around and around and around. Play this sweet, sweet music. Let me roll and shake it. Boogie, boogie, boogie. Play this sweet, sweet music. Let me roll and shake it. Let me sway the jingle. Make night, Mr. DJ. Play this sweet, sweet music. Let me roll and shake it. Let me sway.
Yeah, that's just how we do it. You know we're going on. Delicious says she wants me to play one more for us. We're going to drop this one for Delicious, huh? We're going to play one more for the Delicious. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, song of the late great Mick Stokes. That one is called Play One More for Me. As we come to a close of the program this evening, just before I sign off, I just want to again say condolences to the family of Mickey Stokes, Prime Minister Joe, Sister Sensi, and family. Just want to wish you guys well and know that we're here in full support of you. Also want to send condolences to the family, Brother Brown and crew of the late Ali, the mighty Ali there, out of Sandy Point, St. Kitts, by way of the Virgin Islands. And I also want to send condolences to Brother Wingrove Hicks Williams, Kenrick Williams, and Nigel Williams, and the passing of their mom, Carmen Williams, in the Virgin Islands. Also, I realized that I got to say this to our people there. Many of you were not there for the real fight when the former administration was doing the damage. Though you was feeling the pain and feeling the knockabout, you was not prepared to fight or willing to fight because you don't want the backlash. You don't want your families that may be working for government feel the effects of the farmer hug, so you all stay quiet. Some of you might have even campaigned against Dr. Joe at the time for the leadership of the Labour Party, and by extension campaign against him, say he can't win his seat in number 8, how we expect to be Prime Minister. A lot of words were thrown. Did JefroyMorrishaw get cussed off? Did JefroyMorrishaw say he got a hass in the waist? And all kind of names are you call me. But lo and behold, God answered prayer. And we have a new caring Prime Minister in the likes of Dr. Terence Joe. And many of you out there who was not fighting the fight and fighting the wars, like those kids that get a new pair of shoes or a new bike or new clothes, and because they did not have to work for it, they knock it about and dirty it up and whatever, because there's no more maybe there for them to come from, where that came from, right? And you guys are making the Prime Minister's job hard to do, harder, because how can he concentrate on a dirty, nasty opposition that out there spreading all this propaganda while you supposedly appointees by the Labour Party are members or supporters of the Labour Party having your infight. And the infight is so dirty, it's all over social media. To the point where I realized the Prime Minister himself had to put something on social media this week, asking for you guys to cease and desist from your dirty behavior. And the Prime Minister is not like me now. He ain't gonna call out all your dirty and tell all your dirtiness them. So me gonna do it. He do it in a very nice and pleasant way. But I'm telling all you, done with all your dirtiness on social media. If you all claim you all love the government, you all love the Prime Minister, you all love the country, cut out all your nonsense on social media. Those of you who are appointed to office and those of you who are just supporters of the party, cut out all your dirtiness on social media. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't look good. This is something that I pick up from the Prime Minister's page there. It says, greetings. Let us be more compassionate in carrying out our duties. Let us be mindful of our country's motto, country above self, as we continue to work towards creating a better nation. People first always. A new day, better way. People matter. You understand? People matter. Some of you are lucky to get appointed, whether to ambassadors or to advisors, whatever title you all get in a do. You all have to think about the other people out there that are still waiting for some opportunities. Stop throwing things in people's face. Stop cussing out people because they're saying they need something. Not because you get something mean everybody else must go silent. Everybody have to eat. Stop making the Prime Minister work so hard, man. Stop making the Labour administration work so hard. Broadcast the positive things. All I'm hearing from some of you is negatives. There's a lot of good things the Labour Party has done. Echo the good things. Let's unite for the betterment of the country. You understand? Right here in the Northeast, over the environment, over the weekend, A lot of damage was done. Serious floodings. People lost their homes, lost their vehicle, lost their business. It's a state of emergency there right now. We are lucky that we don't have any hurricane as yet to destroy our little nation we got there. If you are going to continue down the road that you're going, God might have to send something down there to wake you all up, because you all have things good and you are not appreciative of it. So my good people of St. Kitts Nevis, let's focus on the dirty politicians them like Baby Brankley and weed them out and support the good things that is happening in the Federation. Let's love each other, work with each other. We only passing through. We cannot take nothing with us. You understand? Many of them that got the millions and billions and big house and 20 car, the grave only could hold a 3x6. Not even a 3x6, because that's the length of the grave. It got to be something smaller than that, right? They cannot take the bank account with them. Let's stay focused and stay loving. Let's take a listen to our unofficial anthem by the late great, the King Arrow. It says, "Arise, this country is yours. Let's love our brothers and sisters." You understand? Just want to big up my cousin dear Sister Gloria Hutchinson there at the Smart Fit. There's a location there on Keon Street, right out 4th Street. Check out the DJ Morrishaw Central. There's also a location there over at the old Simaco building on Central Street, right next to the Skellek office, right below the Skellek. Check her out. Don't forget Sister Laura as well there in the TDC Mall. Lovely clothing. Check them out. They are clothing stores. Check out my boy Jamrock Restaurant over there in Frigate Bay. Check out my boys there in Old Road at the spot. Check out my boy there, Gijo's, Station Street, Old Road. Check out my boy there, Marshalls in Frigate Bay as well. You know, support the cause, support the businesses that support you. Check out my boy Carbo. Continue to support Carbo. Don't forget Muffet Slack right there in Charlestown, Nevis. Any kind of liquor and drinks you want, check out Muffet. And if you want some bakery goods or whatever, don't forget to check out my boy Mikey Slack. Big up my boy Jeff Pemberton, Sister Patty Bartlett, respect. Honorable Janice Daniel Hodge, respect. J.D. Keynes, Johannes, or the big up my boy there, Pastor and Daniel as well, and Sister Loretta, they're over there at the Culture Bar. You know, we're gonna drop this track and we're gonna be out of here. I want to big up my boy, the use of Centrix one more time. My son, the Jeffroy Jr. Thanks again for this for the visit, son. I hope all is well with you when you get out of here. Big up my sister Esther the Instautola, Mokish, and the kids. My brother there, Jean Paris, and the kids there, Chantel. And your brother, hope all is well with you guys. Big up my boy Ingla, brother Sam Francis, Sarah Francis, brother Elman Harley. I want to big up Uncle Joseph there at the Garvey's Estate. Thanks for all your support, Uncle. Hope all is well. Don't forget to check Uncle out for your party needs, place to stay and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, big up my boy Rask. Been calling Rask for the last 48 hours. Can't find him. And I try him after I sign off. But let's just drop this final track. Welcome my folks there out of the Tobago area to the New York area. The man there, the man Roger Wallace. And how about my girl, the missionary Deborah Blade Wallace? Good evening, Gloria. Hope you and Daddy is doing fine. Brother Victor, Sister Melissa, welcome. Sister Kia, the boy Dari, my baby girl. Baby girl been hanging with me all week. Lovely baby, sensible lady. Sister Celine Tobias, hope all is well with you. Sheila Charles, Sheila Keyes, how about my girl, Lioness Charles? I haven't seen you in a bit, hope all is well with you. Gonna drop this track by the late great King Aaron. We're gonna move on. Sister Gwyneth Morrishaw, I hope all is well with you. My mascot there, Dorothy Allen. Good evening. Want to big up my brother there, Carl Morris in the Virgin Islands there. Sister Valencia Morris, what a sour. Sister Brown, how about my favorite cousin there, Natalie Carty? How about Caroline?
children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion. Or would we watch on idly, disregarding our self-sufficiency? Maladministration, wrecking all I know. I said no, not that wrong. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together, hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Would you assist building a wall so massive or a bridge? Don't care how small, as one tends to divide our people, the other unite us all. Unambitious men just cannot be a part of this community. Displaying selfishness, a total lack of interest. No, I said no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We move on together, hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, song of the late great King Arrow. This country is yours, all yours, my people, still yours. Oh, want to say big up to the AGD and crew. Thanks to all you folks that joined me online this evening. It was a long week, a long weekend, so gotta drop out and look forward to seeing you guys back here next Wednesday, same place, same time. My guest for next week will be Brother Cozy there from Nevis. We'll be discussing the matter about the case that is filed in court about the malfeasance there by the NIA members in the NIA. So we'll have a good conversation next Wednesday evening. In the meantime and between time, love to you guys. Stay safe. God blessings on everyone.